So
Sounds
next-
like law, like,
Yeah,
put it
that'll
to 12
be,
months.
it'll be next time. Yeah.
I was just peeking back there, there's a lot of trees. I was just peeking back there, there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees.
Thank you.
Hi. I call Kevin and Andy, and it is.
Yeah.
So we only do the one payment? Both folds. Okay.
Yeah, the culture around directors, they're just. Also, I think it was just like a little private space that's shielded from the.
I think she spent the extra
My goal is that they just stay and come and go eat, refuel and stuff. That's.
Let me know what else.
Tackle.
And let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any amendments to the agenda? Anybody needed to be added to the agenda? Then you can sign in right here, Chuck. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me come.
Anytime.
Yeah, well, hold your breath.
We will share, but you're too far away from us. Unless you don't got it.
Well, geez, my goodness. They got everybody.
Doesn't look.
Where's my?
And then can I get a motion to approve resource meetings?
Do you guys want to make any corrections?
Yeah, we have, I saw two corrections. Sam's name. Yeah. Make she ordered.
Okay.
And we had a motion and voted on approving pay selection.
Point of order. It's awfully hard to hear you, Mark, from the back row.
My apologies, I'll do better. It's a problem, even without amplification, sorry.
No, the bus is here.
I move to approve the minutes with the corrections mentioned. I second.
Okay. Meeting minutes from April are approved. And there's no guests. Department reports.
I have the sheriff's report.
Okay.
Montgomery County Sheriff, for the month of April, there was a total of 19 calls.
Okay. Fire district's not here. County commissioner's not here. Monty, do you have anything to report?
I do not. Everything's good.
The grass looks amazing.
Grass is green. For another week.
Okay. Okay, the treasurer report.
Okay, accounts payable. Let's see, okay, Tess and Sam were in and reviewed them today. The top is your check register of everything, of all the checks that are in here, that you guys want to open.
It's a big number going out this month.
Sorry, we didn't get yet, Sheriff. Oh, my grandma.
No, I did not.
What do you?
Yeah, that's the other guy. Don't care of a call. The apologies.
And then I'll have you guys look at these two. These are contractor applications. This is for our stormwater project. The contractors requesting payments, so we have two to hopefully get approved. We are going for reimbursement of this amount. And
That's, yeah.
it's $534,251 is these total. So I will let you guys pass that down.
Do you have experience in how long it takes to get reimbursed?
She said it could take up to 30 days, but I've had a turnaround in a week.
That's not bad at all. I was expecting worse.
That's why I was thinking if we could approve those tonight, it's already approved, and I can just write the check, just.
That's one of the reasons I was hesitant with the CD, until we need liquidity for these kind of things
Yeah.
for a moment.
read those earlier.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, these are the two we already, second through the email, the two requests. Is there anything they didn't do? Other than-
Hey, Brian.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Why is there a commissioner, like the fire, got in order?
Yeah. Yes.
He's on the, he's on the agenda that we're going, so I need to
Okay.
after we do these. Yeah, for ballot boxes.
I make a motion that we approve the accounts payable expense vouchers, the outstanding bills, and the treasurer's report.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll take this.
No, she wants them done one at a time.
Sam was the reviewer today. Who got the second? For all of them, or just the ones
Tess can share.
I'll second a
Tessa's-
couple of them.
Okay. Well, here's your expense vouchers, there's only two. We can get that done really quick. Your expense voucher total was $127.94. For both of them.
I have a
Yes.
question.
The man at the end.
Looking here, so I see, I remember seeing the invoice come through for the 35,319.75 for Sewell. And then there's another 10,000, what is it, 10,324.40? And then there's another check for 46,000. What's it, the 46,000 for?
There's two, so there should be 4 invoices total in there. So there's a 35 and a 10 that I added together, and then I got another one today that I was able to run through, and that was for the CSO project too. That's why there's 2 different checks going out.
So I see the 35, the 10, they all add up and total to 46. And then we got another one for.
And then there's another one.
What's that
another
one for?
This stormwater project. It should be in there.
Just like the Versatile had two
Yeah. They
payments.
just,
Sewell's payment was.
But that's where, like, I'm looking. So there's 35, there's 10, and 365, and altogether that totaled to 46.
Right.
and then you should have another one.
Another one for 15, and another one for 32. So that's,
No, is that everything there?
yeah, that's what I. I know, it's hard. Just throw numbers at you. So there's those 2 there, and this one here. That's why I thought it looks like stormwater, but that
Okay,
one says
so
stormwater on it.
46,009.
Yep.
This one here,
Yep.
these 3 added up to 46.
Yeah.
Okay, so then those 2, that shows 4609. Then another 32.
Yep.
This one is Department of Commerce.
This is Department of Commerce. This is
Oh.
for your, the emergency lift station loan.
Oh, okay, we're paying them, don't they pay us?
No, you have a
Don't pay
loan.
that.
When they
There's a
did,
loan.
Oh,
Yep, a loan and grant.
okay.
for the erosion control, there
Right.
was a large loan, just over 200,000, a small one around 37,000, and a grant portion.
Okay. Okay.
Does that answer your
Yes,
question?
that does answer my question. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Glad to be done with that. One thing to have it out of the way.
Sam motion.
Sam motioned, I need a second. A second.
Okay, you guys' treasurer's report. Okay, your money market, you guys didn't have any debits or credits other than a deposit of interest of $917.79. Your ending and current balance is $604,510.90. Business checking, you had 8 deposits and 25 debits. Beginning balance of $135,503.51. Your ending and current balance of $127,083.28. Accounts payable total of $107,164.84. Your expense voucher total of $127.94. Okay, Sam, motion for treasurer's report.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that one.
Okay. Last Saturday, I went and put an order in for all the flowers for around town. We will pick, I'll go with the other volunteers in the beautification events committee, and we'll go pick up those flowers on the 29th, and then we'll plant all those flowers and place the pots. Monty will place the pots throughout town. And Fran?
Nothing to report.
Okay, Mark?
Let's see. I think everything else I'll talk about follows a new business, rural business.
Okay. Sam?
Just that I've been working on some potential property issues for the town. And what I'd like to do is get the council's approval to continue working on those until, I think there's a piece of property that was originally public property that has been transferred to private hands. And I would like to do some more research to figure out how that happened, because I can't see a clear record on how that happened. And so I'd like to investigate it more and possibly involve land professionals and lawyers if necessary, but I would like to get to the bottom of it and make sure that there's a clear distinction on how that happened.
Do I have a motion?
I so move.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Whatever he needs.
And Blake second. Okay. Blake?
I've got numbers for Fire District 2. For the month of April, we had a total of 198 calls for service. For the town of Metaline Falls, we had a total of 7 calls, all EMS. Down from last year, we had a total of 10 EMS calls and 1 fire call. So things were better here in April this year. For the year, we're currently at a total of 704 calls for Fire District 2. But it's continuing to stay warm and dry out, and so everyone needs to be diligent in their pre-summer burning, getting things ready. And then maybe you and I will talk about that pile we need to make go away next to the train station. That didn't burn in the middle of winter.
Just have a barbecue or something.
So, well, even if we haul it off, whatever we do, it should make it go away before Bigfoot, for sure. So,
Okay.
that's all I got.
Thank you.
It sounds all right.
So, before we go into old business, I want to go back to department reports. Commissioner Smiley.
I don't know that I have any real news for you guys, other than I'm looking forward to the advisory committee meeting for the rezoning with the towns. I think that's a week after next on Tuesday afternoon in Ione. I'm gonna be attending
Yes.
those. Before I came here, I was listening to the planning commission meeting tonight, which overlaps with your guys' meetings. They were talking about that, and they will have, Kimberly Horn will be leading up that effort to kind of collaborate with the towns, update of their comp plan, or the counties update of their comp plan, so that we're all on the same page. Got EDAC meeting next week. I'd love to see people there if they can make it. And after that, we're going to do the Brownfield steering committee, which is part of that EDAC meeting. Again, I think the towns should have a representative there, especially in the north end towns, for that Brownfield issue. If you remember what that is we're seeking to get grants from the Department of Ecology to pay for cataloging, first of all, or mapping, and then inspecting, and not necessarily for any kind of enforcement or anything like that, but really rather just, we know what this problem is, and this is what would solve the problem for any future use of property. And that would be through grant funding, and eventually there may be a third stage where they would pay for cleanup of possible brownfield. So I think that might be significant. Would encourage the towns to be part of that.
Yes, sir.
That Brownsfield, that's like for, like over here where the cement factory where they have.
Yeah,
that
a
stuff.
brownfield is any property that was formerly used, and is suspected of having contamination, and that suspicion is hampering its reuse.
Oh, okay.
It may or may not have contamination,
Right.
but there's this kind of, well, we think
Just-
there's something there.
Just so you know where it is though.
Right,
Yeah.
and again, the idea here is that we document what the issue is, so people know,
Yeah.
and then have a plan for cleanup, so it can be reused.
Right.
That's the idea. And of course, if you live up here, there's lots of those places. So looking forward to that. Other than that, I don't have anything else for council unless you guys have something for me.
Ballot boxes? Ballot boxes?
Ballot boxes.
Are
Did
you
Mary
gonna-
Ann talk to you guys about those?
No, I have you on the agenda for ballot boxes.
You have me on the agenda for ballot boxes. Wow, she could have told me that.
Could have, but she didn't.
I thought she was coming up. Wow, that's a hot man. Yes, Mary Ann is wanting to put a ballot box, a drop box, in Metaline Falls. Okay, and I believe the discussion is to have it outside of the town hall here somewhere. Other than that, I know very little about it. And that she's gonna pay for it, and she has a grant to pay for it. And I know that the desire is that they would have a camera on. And in some place they have a camera on, much like the one in Metaline. She feels, and I totally agree, there's a lot of folks here in Metaline Falls that don't drive. And it's an issue for them to go up to Metaline if they wanna use the drop box. And there's ongoing lack of performance of our U.S. Postal Service, and that is causing issues with the ballots. And so you have to physically put them in somebody's hand and see them postmarked of the right day to make sure that it's postmarked if you go through the post office, that we get it on time. I was on the canvassing committee this year, and I can tell you a lot of those ballots were not postmarked by the election day. So the only way that you can guarantee that is you either physically see them do it, or you drop it in the ballot box, or you take it down to the courthouse and you hand it to somebody. So then you know, and of course you can track your ballot as well and see, but I can tell you, we had a lot of them that were, late to get there. So, yeah, we're gonna do that. Yes.
So when I was researching property, I talked to her about it, and she was recommending either the corner of the building right out here,
Mhm.
or the other corner. Again, they want to make sure that there's no electioneering within 25 feet of those
Right.
boxes.
Right.
And then just basically what the access to the boxes is. So I said I would mention those when I was
Okay.
here, so.
Yeah, and you remember how they work, just so that, you know, you guys got a fair amount of public here. Usually on election night at, I think it's 8 o'clock, they close the election. Somebody will lock that box at 8 o'clock and seal it. And then they come up with 2 people and empty it and take those ballots in a sealed bag back down to the courthouse the next day. You know, and so that way there's no late votes in there, because somebody's literally standing there. I've done it with my watch, 8 o'clock, it's closed. And it kind of eliminates some of the problems. I think the ballot boxes are great, in my opinion.
Was Mary Ann needing an approval from the council?
Yeah, but we'll do that for him.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yes, you may have a turn.
Okay. Earlier I sent out in an email to the council, the cash flow summary and the budget position report as of this morning. And 3 pages of notes on the budget position report. I don't know if everyone got a chance to read that. With the general fund, property taxes were a little low, but we're expecting more payments soon, hopefully, to bring that up to where it should be. Generally speaking, there are a few categories in the general fund that aren't quite where we'd like to see them, but I'm hoping that'll be corrected by upcoming second quarter payments. In most of those cases, it'll be easier to evaluate that later in the summer. Expenditures are higher than anticipated in several categories, and I think we're looking at needing to start on another budget amendment that will be passed this summer. Wastewater revenues are at 32.1% of what we'd anticipated so far this year. So we need to continue trying to get those paid and getting past due accounts caught up. And that's the overview. If anyone has any specific questions or on categories that looked like they weren't where we'd hoped or were overspent for this time of year anyway, I'd be happy to answer questions. I went through it pretty carefully, so I have a good idea of why they look the way they do. And secondly, I'm resigning. I'm going to be working on a permanent basis in the clerk's office as assistant clerk 1 day a week. So effective tomorrow, I will no longer be a council person. That's it.
Thank you, Tess.
Glad you're still in town
Okay, so on to old business. Community garden. And they're not here, so
Are there any updates on the garden? Community garden? Just still paperwork going through getting our ducks in a row?
Yeah,
Yes,
my
yes.
understanding is that's where we're at. I noticed they put a few things out there so far, but not much.
Okay, and the next thing on old business is the annexation of the Sean Regan's. Do we want to have an executive meeting to discuss that?
I would just say that until we align ourselves with the county plan, that we should hold off before considering annexation. So let's get that taken care of first and make sure that all the towns are in alignment with that, and then we'll go forward.
Okay. The next one, hiker Piker Bigger Box.
I got to talk to Brian Smiley, who forwarded me to some points of contact with Fish and Wildlife, and I've had a constellation in phone calls, but reaching the regional wildlife biologist that we have up here, she is very excited about the project and is seeking out money. And she thinks that she's found money for both the bear box and a bear garbage can that we could put in the park space.
That's really
there.
good news.
There's of course no guarantee. She's going to get back to me by May 30th. Her name is Anne Marie Prince, and she's been very helpful. Yeah, the other garbage cans are not bear safe, but I think for a campsite, I think it's wise. And if she can find a garbage can too, in addition to the food storage, that would be great. I don't think we could open the park until we have the food storage. So hopefully an update by next council meeting.
Okay.
Just FYI, next week on Tuesday, can't remember the time right now, we will have the new Fish and Wildlife conflict officer who is now for this region. He actually lives in Stevens County. I'm trying to find his name here, but he's going to be in our meeting and just introduce himself and be available. And he's their wildlife human conflict specialist. So you might zoom into that, and I will talk to him about this project when he comes up.
That's the 26th meeting. I plan to attend that one. I really want to go to that one.
So that would be,
What's up? You said next Tuesday, Brian?
yeah, I think so. Our agenda is not finalized for next week
Oh, the
yet.
19th.
So I believe that's gonna be the 19th.
Oh, no, 26th, that's 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's either gonna be Monday, or it's either gonna be Monday, the 18th, or the 19th. And like I said, it's not finalized yet, but he's definitely coming. I heard that he responded. So if you're not there, I will at least put in a plug for him.
Great, thanks. I'll try and zoom in at where
And, you know, and that's one of the things I'm gonna talk to him about is bears up here in Metaline and Metaline Falls. We're all kind of used to it, but kind of a level of service would be kind of nice sometimes. I mean, there's been times in the past where they're like, yeah, it's your problem. You know, yeah, it is my problem until I do something you don't like about it.
we're in the wilderness.
Just for clarification, these are the bear boxes here in Busta Park?
Oh, there's this space behind the Tolja Park here. It's full of trees right now, but the plan is to cut the trees down and level that out, and that's a space for PNT hikers and cyclists. You have to arrive on human power, and then you can have a space to camp.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's great. Camp right in town, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about getting picked up and hauled off.
And give them a chance to spend money around town for.
Yeah.
They have-
You gotta get that out in public so everybody else knows that, you know?
Okay, the point and pay.
Point and pay, I've had conversations with that point of contact. And we, clerk, mayor, and I, we need to have a meeting to kick that off and pay that kickoff fee. I believe that we should also get the credit card terminal, but it's a one-time setup, and from there, then we will then have, with a little bit of training, the ability to track accounts within Springbrook and reconcile them with our online bill payment. I want to emphasize, if you want to pay with a check, you can still pay with a check. This is just an option if you want to pay with a credit card or pay online, e-check, auto pay, etc.
When did they need that payment? How far out of it?
Whenever we just want to have a meeting and a call with him. I think as soon as we pay, it kicks off a clock of about 40 days for when we can be active on that. On that note too, the website's live. This is metalinefalls.gov. There is a little coming soon here. There will be online bill payment. So when the online bill payment is activated, that will be the place to access it.
What's
But
our web link? How can they get to that?
You just type metalinefalls.gov. And the two things that delayed me from launching this were to make sure that everybody's email was set up properly to their satisfaction. And that all seems to be working out pretty well, I think. And in an effort of transparency, we have PRA, Public Records Act relevant documents. So we have agendas, meeting minutes, we have our current budgets, all subsequent amendments will go up. One of my ongoing tasks this year will be to digitize old ordinances. And we have a lot of cool history to talk about and a lot of things to do. So this is just the beginning of a website, but at the very least it gives the opportunity to retrieve public documents. I wanted to emphasize too that we have a calendar here. There's a calendar of events. For example, if we hop over to June, you can see the Bigfoot Festival. There are little dots. It might be a bit of an eye chart. But any events like that are external to the town, we still link to the Metaline Falls Bigfoot Festival website. And these can export to your iPhone and Android and calendar. If you want to just save some of these events that are up, or public meetings, they'll be available here. It'll be an ongoing effort to keep adding events. But we have a calendar there, it's a big deal. That was just a plug on top of the point and pay stuff. I guess the next subject, get this off the screen. The wastewater stuff.
Yes, so now on to wastewater rates and the spreadsheet presentation.
We've now had a couple of public meetings, special meetings, where we've been discussing this, working with Jade and Tess. We've been collecting all the loans that we currently have active for our wastewater system and upcoming ones. And I'm starting here because this spreadsheet, if you can see, it's projecting out what our annual loan payment costs are going to be. And so when we go to this scenario, we need to be forecasting 5 years out. And right now, you see a lot of big numbers, but this is a tool to help us identify what our reserve ratio needs to be and what our sewer payments are going to need to be solvent. So one of the examples of a dynamic spreadsheet, if we don't save anything, if we have a 0 reserve ratio and we don't change any rates, the ordinance currently is fixed at 5% annual rate increases. And it might be kind of hard to see with the lights on, but these are red down here. These are negative numbers.
Large negative numbers.
They are big negative numbers. I even add them up. Over 5 years, if we do nothing, we just stick with 5% annualized increase on our rates, that will have a net $420,000 effect with the current projections of upcoming debts. We have the existing erosion project that we're paying for. That necessitates moving that lift station, and that's going to be an expensive project. So part of preparing for that oncoming debt is to make sure that we build reserves up. So a lot of our discussions were experimenting with, at least in the short term, what our rates need to be so that we can start accumulating reserves again. At a 10% reserve balance and compensating for everything, this is sort of a number that over the next 2 years, it's showing that this year we're probably going to need to raise rates, and we're going to need to raise rates significantly to be solvent and start amassing a reserve. We have no reserves. We're running on fumes right now. And so we're going to have follow-on public meetings about this, and this is an ordinance level activity before we can raise these rates. So this is sort of a kickoff to make awareness about where these discussions have been, where they're going. And I have some follow-on topics regarding this topic to try and mitigate all the costs that we might be facing as best we can. But the numbers are big, and we're doing everything we can to chip away at them. have them right-sized.
Well, the numbers are big. They're not excessive compared to, for example, Metaline or Iowa or anything else.
Any other town?
I think, yeah, right now, what we're projecting for this year would match Metaline. Yeah, I've done analysis for the past couple of years. Sewer systems have had significant rises since 2020. So
And we haven't kept up.
We haven't kept up. We've had a 5% annual increase, and that inflation has been pretty heavy. In fact, the CPI released today is closer to 4% right now. We're at so I'm not sure we're voting on anything other than maybe
We were gonna schedule another meeting, hearing, workshop or something like that at the end of the month where we go in more detail with this and maybe get closer to making an actual decision. I don't know if we schedule something where we take action or just a workshop. I
I
don't
would
know.
take more public comment now that this is more relevant to the public.
Yes, you're being
Yeah.
blindsided with this information. You're welcome to come to these public meetings with any questions, comments, any ideas, anything. I think we'll have at least 2 public meetings.
We had one penciled in for the 26th at 6 PM. Do we want to set that now?
That's on the same day as the,
That's the big meeting too.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be the 26th then if it turns out that
I
it's
think
not
it would
free.
be okay, because really we're just taking in,
Okay.
we want to hear what the public has to say.
Okay.
The 26th.
And then we need also a workshop where we get down to what we actually want to put in an ordinance, because we need to pass the ordinance sooner rather than later. If it's going to be effective as this suggests in July, we're going to need to have that ready to pass in June. So we might need to schedule a public hearing quickly followed by a workshop or a special meeting where we could take action.
26th at 6 PM? Is that the first of the next meeting?
But that is, I have that penciled in as a possible hearing.
Oh, the-
But I mean, we
hearing,
might
sorry.
wanna start sooner, we might wanna do a hearing
You could
next
do-
week and then a workshop on the 26th.
Or you could do a workshop on the 26th, and then you could do a public hearing before your next regular council meeting, because then you guys could take action.
We need to pass something at that council meeting, so it doesn't really give us any time to incorporate public comment. So, we need the public comment soon.
And at that hearing, I can go into.
I think we should
arbitrary
have a
detail.
hearing before that meeting, just as a hearing on the final ordinance before that meeting. Yeah, but we need one sooner than that, just to gather comment.
So we could do the 26th, Tuesday.
Could we, well, that's the soonest we can have a public hearing, right? Because we have to advertise for 2 weeks? Okay. So, public hearing on the 20th, no? It has to be in the paper
Because that
on
would be the
Wednesday.
minor. yeah.
Okay, so it would be,
So we're out a week,
it would be,
the first week in June.
okay. So that would be the 3rd.
So is it the workshop on 26th and then the first meeting in June?
We could do a workshop on the 26th.
Yep.
Workshop on the 26th, public comment opportunity on the
Second.
3rd. Because minor publishes on Wednesday, right?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
comes out
you-
Wednesday night, and our paper's out on Thursday, but we have to have it in by Monday to have it published in that Wednesday.
So the soonest we could do a public hearing is June 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, yeah,
Does that work for everyone?
what time?
I'll make it work.
6 or 7 PM?
We do 6.
Yeah, the 6 is great for me.
This is a public hearing or a
The
workshop?
public hearing is June 3rd at 6 PM. The workshop will be on the 26th at 6 PM. 6 PM work for the workshop?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be ordinance discussion and figuring out numbers.
Listening, getting feedback from public.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay.
okay.
Does anybody have any questions before we put on the lights? The numbers get kind of hard to read otherwise.
Turn on that air conditioner at the same time.
Then we won't be able to hear
Open the
anything.
door.
Is it okay to turn the lights down?
I think so.
I don't know how our windows got shut too.
I know, it's pretty,
Yeah. Out the door and open the window.
And on to new business. So we need to talk about employee raises, and we need to go into an executive session about that. So, executive session starting 7:42 and going for, we need 15 minutes. 15 minutes?
Sure.
Okay, so
We'll have the public exit. Do you want me here for budgetary purposes, or do you want me to leave?
why don't we do all of this here, or do you want stuff out?
Yes, that's what it is.
The bus isn't even running.
Good job.
I knew you wanted
Oh,
to see
yeah.
me.
Mike is on.
In a gurney or?
Sure, you can do that too. I know some guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really quite the show yesterday, or the day before,
Where at? Oh,
right down here.
we try to roll deep.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Lots of help. But we never know who we're picking up or
Yeah.
how heavy.
It is toasty.
How far we have to walk or
Ronnie, you guys can take an hour, there's mosquitoes out there.
We'll invite them in.
Hungry mosquitoes, yeah, we got the doors open, they can come right in.
Okay, we had an executive session for employee wages, and we will have that published in due course.
We can't notify the public until we notify the people.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so the next item is 2 meetings a month discussion. I think we need to go to 2 meetings a month, so that we can have budget workshops and be able to work on ordinances and policies together as a council.
The forecast already kind of looks like that. You might as well formalize it.
Okay, so that second meeting a month, what do your guys' calendars look like?
Don't ask us that. They look horrible. We don't want to do
Well,
two
so does
meetings.
So,
Are you thinking the fourth Tuesday, so it just stays the second
well,
and
if
the
you guys,
fourth? Or?
what kind of meeting are you talking about? Like just a special meeting?
No.
Because if it's gonna be another regular meeting, you have to pass that by ordinance.
Okay.
I think it would be workshops.
Workshops.
No legislative action, but
No.
Okay.
solving problems and investigating.
In discussion.
If our needs change, then we could do an ordinance in the future if we find it necessary.
I will tell you, typically in the area, there's not a lot going on the fourth week of a month. So I'm not real thrilled about, I mean, it's the one time I don't have a meeting.
We can change that.
Yeah, but.
Well, you need to join the gun club, and then you'll have one for
On Wednesday.
Okay, so are we looking at the,
Second and fourth Tuesdays.
second and fourth Tuesdays? So do we want to start that in June?
Well, it's already
starting
happening in May.
Okay, well,
Because we have the
so-
special meeting, but
Yes,
yes.
so the
we could-
26th, so
We could put an ordinance together.
it'll be that fourth Tuesday is the second meeting. Is the second workshop. Is the workshop.
And
Okay.
is that gonna be at 6 or 7?
What works best for you guys?
No, 6 is fine, like, 7 runs pretty late for me. I prefer 6 if it works for other people.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to accept that?
I so move.
Do I have a second
I second that.
For what?
for the 2 meetings a month? Okay, Sam, second. All in,
Marked it.
Mark did. Oh, you beat him to it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next item is resolution 2026-065, adopting the 20-year population growth target and allocation for the 2027 comprehensive plan periodic update.
Did you guys all get a chance to review that? Okay.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next one is Rural Resources Parking Lot. You guys all got the email that I sent out to you and had time to read it? Okay. They would like to either have an easement or a lease for the property to put in pad for ADA accessible, because they're gonna turn these FAR units into ADA accessible units. We also could sell that property to them. My suggestion, we could sell the property to them so they could do what they would want to with it. And then we could take that money and either put it in reserves and discuss where that money needs to go. So my suggestion, I would say, sell it, but you guys have the decision.
Do we need to have an executive session for property?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it necessary or required or optional? It's probably
Well,
worthwhile.
Probably optional, but
you're-
worthwhile.
Yeah, it is optional, but you want to do that with property so that the public doesn't have the opportunity to inflate the price or do something else. That becomes the counters to whatever you're doing could cause problems for them.
Do we need to do that tonight, or they want an answer sooner rather than later?
They
Is
would
my
like an
understanding.
answer sooner than later.
But we could call that session at the end.
Okay.
And get through the rest of this and come back.
Okay. So an executive session at the end.
The grass down in the hole.
The one that they.
Right there on the
already.
corner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And whatever decision we make, they said that you still have access to plow.
No, doesn't matter to me, I was just wondering where you're talking.
Right.
Guys, remember, you have to have a public hearing to sell property.
Correct.
How much of it are you selling? The whole thing down there, or
It's that whole.
Yeah, they're asking for the area.
where the
down-
dumpster is and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. No.
Well, that's part of it is, yeah, we have to come up with that number and figure out, we have to come to an agreement that we want to get rid of it. And then use the numbers that the realtor gave us to figure out what we'd sell it for, and then we have to post it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
Okay, and then the next one, there's open vacant council position after today's meeting. And we are taking letters of interest that can be submitted to the council, and I will also get that put in the Newport Minor. We'll post that in,
We have 90 days to appoint someone.
yes.
What position number are you guys?
5.
I have a question. What is position 5's responsibility?
Thank you.
The responsibilities are not necessarily tied to a position, they're informal and they can change. My focus has been finances.
A lot of times it's based on expertise.
You don't have it divided out into districts like they do everything else?
no.
No.
To be a council member, you have to be eligible for a position, you have to have a residence inside city limits.
Yeah, right.
So,
But you're not over one certain area of town or certain area?
no,
Yeah.
no, we divided it by expertise, so
Okay.
people with different knowledge bases.
Right.
Okay. Um, Next item is the ballot box. Do I have a motion to give approval to Mary Ann to place a ballot box?
So moved.
But we should decide what we want.
That corner or that corner?
Right.
If that property sells, I guess we have an easement to the corner though, right? So,
Corner of the building.
Corner of the building.
oh, the corner of the building of the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they would like us to put a camera on it. Now, I think we started a camera system at one time?
There's a camera system
Yes.
available.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So yeah, much of that would probably depend on how far the cameras can reach as far as,
So then,
I think we can always put a Wi-Fi booster if we needed to, Mark, to get us where we need to be.
Are these cameras already being established? Is that helpful? Could one of those be adjusted?
They
to-
could be, if
Potentially.
the- yeah. if
Maybe
they're
that
already-
would be the way to go then,
Okay.
since we already have.
For the east corner of the building.
Yeah, that'd be
Although-
the southeast corner.
I might want to run Cat 5 cable instead of going wireless though, for something like
It's
this.
just easier.
I don't want to have a wireless drop effect, but we can just run that wiring, that should be, right?
Okay. So,
Do we want to be by the phone for the park?
so by the park?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's like in front of our building, not making the park look.
In the center of the park.
I don't want it to.
If
no, mess
it's
up
like
the-
Metaline's box, they need access, right, on the backside is where the lock and the access is to empty it, right? The front is a slot, drop slot, the backside is access. They may have options where we could access it from the side.
They do.
Okay.
She said, depending on where we select it, she will decide whether we need to have back access or do it from the front, so.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing would be something along the lines of either we find a way to mount it to the building itself, so we're not putting a pedestal on the ground, and that makes Monty's job easier when it comes to plowing or clearing snow. Think of all the different places that would go along.
Okay.
I'll let her know that if you guys have a location in mind, I don't think she's had it made yet.
Okay,
So then it can be made
for that spot.
For that spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense to not have to plow around it.
Right.
So I'm seconding any motion.
Yeah, I would move that we locate a ballot box southeast corner of the building.
Okay. So all in favor of the ballot box to the east
Aye.
corner?
Aye.
Okay, and the next item is the county 09 funds intent to apply.
So that, I had, this was another part of the conversation I had with Brian Smiley. This is a sales tax levied by the county intended for infrastructure money. And there is some money available to be eligible. I spoke with Jill Shacklet based on Brian forwarding me. We need to have our general sewer plan enumerating any of these things that we would be requesting infrastructure assistance. So with the lift station moving, if that's in our general sewer plan, then as a town, I think that we should apply, because anything that we can do to reduce debt or any of those debt burdens coming up, I think there's a good chance that we could qualify, but we need to go through the process of applying as a sequence before it reaches the commissioners. So
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yeah.
I would move that we apply for the 09 funds.
I second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
I was just gonna modify it and say we'll have Mark in charge of it.
I'm happy to. Anything we can.
And you guys, Mark, you'll need a budget, and then, so you'll need a number, and then you'll need a percentage of the project, that fund. So whatever the total cost of the project is, how much you're asking, and, whether you're using it for a match or whatever, you'll see the application, and maybe Jill talk to you about that.
Yeah, I reviewed the application, and we're gonna have a conversation with Ecology at the end of this month too, to have us, because right now we have kind of rough figures, and they're kind of in the air, so
And
we
just for you and the council's edification, the way that process works is on behalf of the council, you would fill out that application. That application will go to Jill. She will review it and make sure it's eligible. And then that will go to the EDAC meeting that I mentioned we're having next week. And they will vote on whether to recommend that to the commissioners or not, or send it back. And so they would recommend yes or no, and then it would go to the commissioners, and the commissioners would have final approval on that final decision. So just so everybody else's understanding of that process.
Yeah, I don't want to presume we're entitled, and that was part of the call. How do we avoid
Yeah, and I'm not
reapplications?
gonna prejudge until I see the application. And,
Yeah.
we'll take a look at it.
Okay. The next one is federal funds intent to apply.
Yeah, in working on the spreadsheet and seeing some of the upcoming infrastructure updates that we need for our sewer system, I went to Baumgartner's website, which talk about grants. Most of the grants that I can find listed on the federal website are targeted towards state entities, or probably most of the money that we're getting through ecology ultimately comes through a federal grant. However, I did find one grant that towns, cities are eligible to apply for. It's from the Department of Agriculture, and it is specifically for wastewater and water work. The only thing I don't know is, given the level of funding with ecology, just bring federal money in, we need to probably involve the state as a part of this entire thing. And I've never done this kind of federal grant application, but I'm willing to give it a shot because it looks like a large part of the infrastructure updates that we're doing are eligible, and I don't see any reason not to try. We'll just try.
Mark, sorry I keep interrupting, but I'll just let you guys know, let you know, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, I went to a meeting in Kennewick called Federal Partners Coalition meeting. And I will just summarize that meeting, that every federal agency was there at that meeting offering their assistance to local entities. The gist of it is they were cutting out the middleman, being Olympia.
Oh.
Great.
And there were multiple opportunities at that meeting from ag, from rural resources, which is a federally funded program, EPA, commerce, state or federal commerce, multiple agencies that had opportunities for grants and funding for local towns. And so my phone literally just died, the battery died, or I was gonna show you. I'll send some of that information to you guys. I was thinking of Metaline Falls when I was in that, because they were talking about some of their wastewater and sewer plants. So I think you're on the right track. I think that's the one I actually was thinking of.
Yeah, it was the only one that towns explicitly couldn't qualify for, but my next step, if we're going to do this, would be to reach out to Baumgartner's office to be like,
Right.
all right,
Yes.
please help.
Yes.
We intend to do this.
I
Please
have
advise.
applied for federal funds before with the fire department, so maybe I can help you look at it. But more than anything, what I've found is you just like you said, talk to Baumgartner's office. He probably has somebody who you can ask questions of. But really, you contact the grant giver and say, what is it that you need? I'd like to know, am I eligible to apply for your grant? And they'll tell you right off the bat. Well, are you just a private entity, or, you'll say, well, on behalf of the town, and they'll be like, yes, you're eligible. That's all I need to know is you're a public entity. And they'll kind of walk you through it. It seems most of the grants, they want to give you the money. It's just you documenting the things they need, because that's their only requirement, is they have to show where the money went, and it has to go to whoever that money was earmarked for. So it's really just asking questions, and they typically point you to each other. Oh, you're gonna call so-and-so at if this is, did you say 80? What's that? EDAC? No, who?
Department of
Department of
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Department of Agriculture, right? They're gonna say you're gonna talk to Jimmy agriculture, he's gonna walk you through this. They'll send you an email with the stuff, and then you just double check, yep, are we eligible? Yep, we are. Sometimes they'll specify a town under 25,000 people, or a town greater than, or in this population bracket.
This one said cities, towns, the qualifications seem to be rural. In fact, it checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
For exactly the kind of stuff we're tackling, especially
Right.
that sewer line over the creek. It's not just limited to the lift stations, so.
Right.
I'm happy to do it. I've only dealt with academic style grants, but I'm happy to branch out. It's just
Yeah.
time.
It is-
More-
it is
I
mostly
I will
time.
send everybody on their council addresses
Yep.
the grant that I found, but I figured we would start here.
I'd be happy to, work with you as much as I can.
Please.
Even if it's just giving you information.
So do I
from
have a
spring break.
motion for Mark to apply for the federal funds? All in favor?
Aye.
For second that.
Okay, and the last thing on, no, it's this one, so, then that one. So, the next one is, to accept Jade as the new clerk. We put out an ad in the Newport Miner for, a clerk. We received 4 applications for the position, and, all 4 of the applicants went through, an interview process, and then, we took all that information from the interview process, and it was Sam, Mark, and myself that did the interviews, and we discussed who was best qualified for the position, and we felt that Jake was the one that was best qualified for that position. And so I would like to make a motion to accept Jade as, or one of you guys. Do I have a motion? Sorry. Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Now you gotta update your signature.
Okay. Okay, and then, okay, 15 minutes, okay. So we're gonna go into another executive session, and it's RCW 42.30.110 1C, discussing sale of public property is what we'll be discussing. So we will have an executive session for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Mosquitoes are celebrating.
Fast forward, really fast.
Don't tie your shoes.
I don't think you're required to that goes in the second meeting.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You mean the workshop?
Yeah, the workshops. I don't
free, huh?
Well,
We're on again.
I got a deal for you.
Before that pile gets real big.
Can't leave without this truck.
Okay, so we've elected to have a meeting with Rural Resources about the property and talk to them about the details and figure out where we're gonna go from there. So that's what we've,
Nothing was decided at this
No.
time.
Yep.
okay?
I make a motion, we,
Public comment.
oh, I guess, so, sorry.
Yeah, written ahead of it. Okay, so I'm opening it up to public comment. Anybody want to comment? Yes?
I would just like to seek clarity in regards to the treasurer's report as to whether or not the pay applications and or the invoices that were submitted by Sewell and Associates for payment to Versatile Industries has in fact been approved. There were 2 of them.
For Sewell, yes, and then I also have other contractors that were approved tonight too.
Okay. Can you elaborate if Versatile was included in those? Because we are the primary contractor
So
for that.
Versatile, you would be working with the contractor EJCDC, Kevin?
Department of Ecology, yes.
So
Kevin
contractor
is
app-
with Sewell.
Okay, so Sewell was approved, and then these are the biggest one with Versatile's names on it is the EJCDC
Okay?
with Kevin from Sewell. And both of those payments were approved tonight.
Okay.
So contractor application for payment number 1 and 2.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Bill with the Bigfoot Festival, and I submitted a little bit of what's going to be going on, how we're going to put it together, set up, take down. I gave it.
You gave it to Jade and Jade gave it to me.
Okay, so the council's been able to see, or is there any questions or anything right now that the council would like to ask of the Bigfoot Festival? We're going to have a meeting tomorrow night. So if there's anything that you can think of that we can bring up with the council tomorrow, or our board tomorrow night, sorry.
Okay.
I get councils and boards and commissioners kind of.
So I did not come in until later that today, and Jade had given me the itinerary for the
Right.
weekend. And so I have not had a chance to send it out to the council,
Right,
and
yeah.
so I will make
But
copies and
we
give
are
that to them.
moving forward, everything's looking really, pretty good. So I've got some Bigfoot presenters that are gonna be coming up and being in the park, and then we got Shane Corson at the Cutter. Like I said, it's looking rather well compared to, where it started out, where we didn't have anything. So we're doing good. I just trying to keep you guys apprised of anything and everything. So that's why I said we're gonna give you a list, that way you can look it over. And if you see something, let us know. We'll do our best to work on it.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for communicating with us and letting us know about the updates.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's our Bigfoot meeting there at the Cutter at 6 p.m.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming.
You're welcome.
Thankfully, we had some money.
That was a good shot.
It's very thorough.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good, I see you brought something to eat.
Black licorice.
Oh my God, doesn't that do something with your blood pressure?